this has just been a crazy ass weekend. I mean, this past weekend, I don't know if you know this.
What?
But someone who honestly created such a legacy that actually paved the way for us here at spill.com to do what we do passed away. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, right?
Oh, are you talking about the great Korey Coleman? No, I'm here, man. I'm not dead yet. Don't kill me.
Don't worry. Party, you died a long time ago when you sold out. You sold us to Hollywood.
Your soul has been dead for a long time.
Yeah, you sold that shit a long time ago.
No. I know who you're talking about, man. I know who you're talking about.
It's some sad
You're talking about Annette Funicello.
Annette Funicello.
Yes, Annette Funicello from the Mickey Mouse Club, man.
We would not be here today if it wasn't for Annette.
If it was not for Annette Funicello, man.
Her and the Big Kahuna.
Actually, I know who you're talking about. You're talking about the great Roger Ebert, man.
Great Roger Ebert.
I'm surprised Leon and I didn't talk about it, but I'm glad we didn't. Because you and I are going to pay him his proper respects.
We will. And I think all the Spilios out there know if we're going to pay tribute to greatness, to legacy, there ain't no two better people to do it than Cohort 3000. We are going to bring you the greatest eulogy. We're going to be respectful. Let me emphasize, we're going to be respectful.
You sure you want to lie? I mean, emphasize a little bit more.
Yes. Let me repeat. Once again, we're going to be respectable. We're going to create a bonfire. We're going to have X-wings flying by with fireworks.
Yeah, the Ewok village is going to be lit up. They're going to be singing num 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 num. Roger Ebert.
Oh, where's my favorite part?
Man, we had actually, things go in threes. So we had 3 big deaths recently. Well, now some people might say, using that word a little bit loosely, a little bit liberally, when you say big, but these are people who have left long-lasting big legacies.
Oh yeah,
in their lifetime.
They are icons. They are, regardless of what generation disagrees or what they are
icons. They are legends. They are historical figures. Now, we said Roger Ebert.
Roger Ebert.
You know who the other one is?
Annette Funicello.
Annette Funicello. And do you know who the third is?
Margaret Thatcher.
Margaret Thatcher. That's right, man. They do go in threes.
Is she the Iron Giant, or is that
what?
Is she the Iron Giant, or is
the Iron Giant?
I'm sorry, the Iron Lady.
I think that sometimes she did sound like the Iron Giant. Yeah. Superman. Yeah. Prime Minister.
Prime Minister. Prime Minister coming through.
I was like, the Iron Giant? Did she do the voice for the Iron Giant?
Yeah, she did.
I always thought that was that was Vin Diesel that did that.
Ving Rhames, that was.
Ving Rhames.
That was totally Ving Rhames.
He died too, right?
Yeah, he did that too. Ving Rhames, who was in Riddick and Pitch White.
Oh, wait. No, Ving Rhames, he just died. He was in the Green Mile and all that kind of stuff.
Mile. Yeah, he's a voice actor. Actually, his legacy will always be known for his voice work. Yeah, in cartoons.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm sorry, Vin Diesel was the one in Pulp Fiction. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
No, you know what? We joke, man, but I'll tell you about that time. I'll tell you about that time that who was it? It was Michael Clark Duncan. Yeah. He died. Yeah. And then they had a picture of a news report. Yeah. Where they put up a picture of Terry Crews.
Terry Crews. There was one of because when that happened, I think I told you like 2 Spilios sent me news reports. It's like, oh, you guys got to talk about this. Let's do this. And it was a picture of Terry Crews in one news story, and in the other news story that somebody sent me, it was a picture of Ving Rhames. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? Is this a joke? Is this?" I was checking.
Wait a minute.
I was checking to see if it was from The Onion. Yeah, because there was 2 stories like that, and they both put up wrong pictures of Michael Clark Duncan. I even saw one with Morgan Freeman.
That was crazy, man. Yeah. I saw one story where Michael Clark Duncan had died, and they put my face up there. I was like what? I don't even look. I got hair. I'm thin. I don't even look anything like this.
Looking all tired.
Which makes me wonder if when I die, they're gonna put a picture of Michael Clark Duncan up.
Hell, might as well put a picture of Cyrus up there.
Okay.
Michael Clark Duncan.
When Leon dies, they're gonna put my picture up. And vice versa.
You're gonna put George Jefferson.
Sherman Hemsley.
For Sherman Hemsley. For Leon. Oh my God!
Actually, that would be kind of correct. You know,
I would make sure you gotta keep me in charge of that in case one of us dies, so I can give pictures out. It's like, yeah, just go ask that guy co-host. He'll give you all the information he needs for the obituary. Handing out wrong pictures.
But you know that when they were at these news stations. It's gotta be a town where there's really no black people around, or hardly any black people.
Pleasantville.
Yeah, it's like for some reason for some people that would be very pleasant.
Oh yeah, I know.
That would be ecstaticville.
That's called heaven on earth. nothing but white.
But at this news station, there must have been nothing but because. You know, when they had the guy, probably whoever's in the graphics department, that was a guy that doesn't have any black friends whatsoever.
Oh, no.
He doesn't keep up with black actors, black culture, black anything. He don't even have his coffee black.
No, never heard of it.
Yeah. You give him his coffee black, you're gonna be like, who gave me Michael Clark Duncan?
I know, right? Who is this? I don't do this.
Who's this guy?
Yeah, who's this guy?
Take him back.
Where's my morning milk?
Wouldn't that be funny if when Michael Clark Duncan died, they did put up a picture of just black coffee.
Black coffee. Just a black square.
With some eyes on it.
Yeah, he died. Black died today.
Probably would have been better. It's probably been better just putting up like some words that we don't know what the fuck he looks like. Because the thing is, the reason why I say it must have been no black people around, because even though that guy who's in the graphics department got it wrong, nobody in that station caught it.
Oh no! I'm hoping that whoever was like giving him the information was like, hey, Michael Clark Duncan died. Here's his picture.
Somebody that didn't like him just fucking with.
Laughing his ass off. Yeah, post this.
Hey, dude, you know who's Michael Clark Duncan? Oh yeah, here he is, right here, man. Yeah, that's him. Everybody's laughing. You're trying to get this motherfucker fired.
Gives him the black squares. Like this does not look like Michael Clark Duncan. He's like, oh, hold on. He puts googly eyes.
Yeah, it was dark outside.
Can't you see him?
Picture, man.
Look closer.
Yeah. He's standing right there.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah. But man, that's a shame. But anyway,
it is a damn shame.
But we had 3 deaths, and we just mentioned them. And the one that probably we would talk about. Well, we will talk about them, but the one we're going to give attention to is Roger Ebert.
Roger Ebert, man.
Yeah, because I mean, listen. I did a call-in show this weekend, and you were right. I mean, I don't know if we'd be here if it weren't for Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert.
Oh yeah,
at the movies.
Yeah, at the movies. 2 of the first, like, I think I could easily say the first celebrity reviewers. You know, where they became a household name. You know?
That man, listen, they are. Yeah, you can say that with full confidence because they came in, they had the right thing, the thumbs up, thumbs down. People still do that.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, you forget how just globally known just the whole idea of thumbs up, thumbs down, just that whole idea of rating movies is so universal. I mean, hell, you can speak any different language you want. You just say, hey, what'd you think of Transformers?
Thumbs up, down.
You know exactly what that person's saying. Yeah.
And you know what? You know where it came from. Now, a lot of actually, let me ask you a question. How many young people today do you think don't know where the thumbs up and thumbs down came from? I mean, look, that's a universal symbol. Don't get me wrong. It's not that they invented, but
right.
But they did really encompass that. That became a symbol. It definitely became a universal symbol. Pioneered by them for talking about movies.
Oh yeah, for rating
thumbs up,
movies.
Thumbs down for rating movies. Yeah.
And I mean, I would be shocked to hear that a kid or somebody just didn't know exactly where they came from. For a kid to like not know, or at least have their parents let them know, hey, you know, by the way, these guys, you know, I'm sure they would have asked at some point, and I'm sure their parents would have told them. Plus, you got YouTube now. You got all kinds of information out there to let them know, you know, what they think. I'm sure when people are looking up movie reviews or something. I mean, I'm sure they would have stumbled upon Siskel and Ebert. You know, if they're looking up old movie reviews, I'm sure they would stumble upon their reviews on YouTube.
And you got to keep in mind that with Siskel, with Roger Ebert, Gene Siskel probably not so much. And people look it up. If you don't know what we're talking about, you probably know Roger Ebert, because Roger Ebert, he was kind of a geek. He was a geek. What am I talking about?
He was, because you know, every time the Transformers movie came out, or some sci-fi film, or even horror film, you'd always read at least what people's, you know, you'd read some of the critics' reactions, but you were always guaranteed to see Roger Ebert's quote.
Yeah.
Every time you looked up one of those movies, you know, and sometimes it caused a lot, you know, sometimes he disagreed. He didn't like a lot of the movies that were the bigger tentpoles kind of summer movies. And when he disagreed, people would get in an uproar about it, you know, and you definitely see by comments like, how could Roger Ebert? Because every time I read an article about either Transformers not doing well or people's opinions on Transformers, you always saw somebody manage to copy and paste the quote from Roger. Well, this is what Roger Ebert said. Oh, he's so out of touch, you know, or crap like that.
He was the guy that liked a lot of geek stuff. That everybody, it was confusing because a lot of people say, "Man, this was horrible."
Yeah,
and Roger Ebert would be right there. I tell the story all the time. Where I remember when I was in high school, they had what was the Return of Swamp Thing?
Return of Swamp Thing.
Now I used to watch that on HBO all the time.
Oh yeah, that was great. It was always on HBO.
It was always on HBO, and it was good for HBO.
Oh yeah.
Even then, our home video. Even then, if I had to admit, I had to say, man, this is stupid. It's fine when I watch it on TV.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what it would be like if I saw it in the theater. But I remember when it was released limitedly in the theaters, and Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert were talking about it. And what I loved about them is that I don't think these guys really liked each other. They respected each other. I don't think they hate each other.
It's kind of like a band, I guess.
They worked together, and that was it.
It's kind of like bands who have been playing together for years.
Exactly.
It's like they're not hanging out with each other anymore.
And you can see that with this review that they did, because, I mean, it got to the point where these are guys who are respected writers, and that review just broke down into them sounding like kids.
Oh yeah,
because Roger Ebert was trying to defend it, and he wasn't talking about the cinematography. He wasn't talking about the mise-en-scene, or the acting, or the effects, nothing like that. I remember Gene Siskel just sitting up there saying, he almost had this look on his face like, man, you like that shit?
Yeah, you idiot.
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, what happened to you?
Yeah, and then Roger Ebert, his defense was, you didn't like the Mad Scientist Lab?
Yeah, I know.
That's
awesome.
Gene Siskel was saying, no. I was like, that's stupid. And you're stupid for saying that to me.
You're right. Roger always had that kind of like, he definitely had that kind of geeky mentality where something is as ridiculous as a mad scientist lab scene would get him giddy. Or, you know, Gene is like he's being a critic. He's very much, you know, he's looking at it as a film, as a piece of art.
I think Gene Siskel sometimes would tell Roger, well, like, man, look, I think he's stupid.
Yeah, I know. Well, those are the best, especially when the camera always cut to Gene just looking at him like, you are an idiot. You didn't have to say. He just looked at him like, the fuck are you talking? What is coming out of your mouth right now? You know? And both those guys managed to do that with their body language and just their facial expressions. Just kind of look, because you could totally gauge like, oh man, I wonder what he's thinking. And when he actually said it, you were like, yes, you know.
Yeah. Like, see, Gene Siskel just always used to look at Roger Ebert like, you stupid fuck.
Yeah. You know, they were the greatest married couple on TV.
They were.
They really were. There's a great episode. I don't know. I'm sure you remember that cartoon show, The Critic. Where it had Jay Sherman as a critic, played by John Lovitz. They had a falling out, so they were looking for somebody to fill in the role for each other's show. They went and did their own spin-offs. And it was funny because during the whole episode, you could tell Roger and Siskel both were missing the other guy, so much so that when they had Jay Sherman to do the tryouts, he was like, hey, why don't you put this on? And they put on a wig that looked like Roger Ebert. And it's like, yeah, now put on these glasses. It's like, perfect. And Jay Sherman's like, I look like Roger Ebert. I'm not Roger Ebert, all right? I'm me. Just like, he's like, sure, Roger.
When Gene Siskel died, he died at the age of 53. I'm trying to find a year where he died. Gene Siskel died in 1999. And it was cool because at the Academy Awards,
it wasn't cool that he died.
Well, no, I wasn't cool they died, but it was cool they did the Academy Awards because at the next Academy Awards ceremony, I remember I think Whoopi Goldberg was hosting, and everybody because at first I thought when they went through all the when they do the people have died that year, I thought when Gene Siskel came up, I thought all the actors were gonna be like, that motherfucker's dead,
about time,
ding dong, the bitch is dead, the bitch is dead.
I give that 2 thumbs up.
His ass. But no, they gave him special attention. I would even say he probably got a standing ovation. Oh, yeah. Because they said, listen, this guy wasn't always kind to our movies. He wasn't always kind to us. But the movie industry just wouldn't be the same. It just won't be the same without him.
No, not at all. I mean, the one thing I remember about seeing the original Siskel and Ebert show, I can't remember what it was called. I think it was called Movie Previews before it became At the Movies.
Oh, really?
That's when it was on PBS. Yeah. Because they started out on just a public PBS broadcasting for Chicago. It was like their public access there.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was a local station.
Yeah, it was a local station, and they started the show there, and then they got some notoriety, and then PBS ended up picking them up, and then after PBS, NBC did when it became Siskel and Ebert at the movies. But I remember seeing those PBS shows because I was like, what I loved about it was the fact that, wow, they're showing movie previews. They're showing scenes from movies that are out, on TV. And I was like, oh, man, this is badass, especially if they showed something that I really liked. Like, I know they did a review of Evil Dead 2. I had no idea about what Evil Dead 2 was or anything until I saw the preview for it, and it blew me away. And I was like, man, I got to check this show out more often because they show clips from movies. And the thing is, you got to remember, there wasn't the internet back then. So you were kind of in the dark about newer movies, especially movies that were coming out. Besides, picking up a newspaper, which no kid really did at the time, you'd usually wait on the weekend to see, what movies were out that week. And on top of that, you got to see clips from it to make sure that it was something that, you were interested in. And I always thought, man, this is badass. It shows that, shows clips from movies and I can go check it out and I can see if it sucks or not. And I'll have these guys let me know if it's worth my time.
Oh, yeah. That was the cool thing about it. I mean, today you get to see movie clips everywhere. You see trailers, movie clips.
Too many movie clips these days.
I know. You almost see too much now. But I can remember watching At the Movies back at a time, and you're right. I do remember when they had a syndicated PBS show.
Yeah,
before it was syndicated outside of that.
Right. Well, it was a PBS show, and then it got syndicated. Yeah, all over.
Yeah, and I remember watching that, and it was cool because you got to watch. You got glimpses of movie clips and trailers. That you don't know how, man. Kids don't understand how starved we were for that stuff back in the day, and there was only one way to get it because you got to think about it. You had to watch a show like that. Even if you don't want to see the reviews, you had to watch a show like that to see a clip of a movie that you don't know when you would see it. You don't know when you would see that movie. You don't know when you'd see these clips again. If you missed it, you didn't have a recorder or you didn't have a place to go and click on it, play it as many times as you want.
Oh, well, at the time when the VCRs became more prevalent in houses, I was one of those people that was recording. It's like, oh, hey, we got a review coming up for the brand new Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 Dream Warriors. Huh? Get any tape I can find, throw it in there, and just get ready to record. Just for the sole reason to see those clips of Freddy Krueger in a new Freddy Krueger movie, where I can rewind it as many times as I want and watch the scenes. I was like, man, that's awesome. That was your internet recording device.
That was your internet at the time.
Yeah.
And a fool would sit down and watch those clips over and over again like they're watching a movie.
Same here. I watched the He-Man clips when Masters of the Universe came out. I was like, He-Man, because even at the time, I didn't read any kind of magazines like Variety or anything to let you know that movie studios were making a property of something you liked. So when I found out that there was a He-Man movie, a live action He-Man, I was like, huh? I rewinded that shit and watched it 20 times like it was the movie itself.
You would watch those clips and they be talking on. Sometimes you say, man, I wish these guys would shut up.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I could watch this movie right here.
I know. And even at the time, if you were worried about spoilers or anything, those guys had a way of talking about the movie so much so that they didn't really contain a lot of spoilers. I mean, if you go back and you watch those reviews they did, I'm always baffled about how quick they get out the synopsis of the movie. Like they'll show a clip, they'll come back, and they'll immediately just get into the discussion about, all right, look, this was
why, right?
Because of the time span.
Because of the time limit.
Yeah, time limit. I want to say
if you take out
that show was only about 30 minutes long. Too.
Well, the show was 30 minutes, but if you include commercials,
and a lot of times they had 3 movies that they reviewed at least.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They had so many movies to review that a lot of times you couldn't even. They couldn't even give it full attention. They had to do a wrap up, and they talk about some movies that they gave thumbs up and thumbs down to at the time, or they say some other movies coming out, and they say real brief.
Oh yeah.
Hey man, bad.
In and out. Yeah. And you know what? It served its purpose.
There's a lot of critics you should look at. If you want to know how to be a critic, and I'm still thinking we could learn from this. I'm not telling everybody you go and learn.
Believe me, I'm still learning.
All of us could learn something from Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel by going back and watching those shows and seeing how they got to the point.
Oh yeah,
quick.
Yeah,
because they had to. Yeah. And a lot of people had this attitude, and I never used this attitude because I always said, listen, they have a very formal way of reviewing movies. They have a chemistry that's great too. But when I said I want to come in and do this, when I said, I want to do reviews and I want to put it out there. Well, of course I wanted to do it at first because I wanted to get some free movies. I always put that out there. But then I said, you know something, I guess we have to be kind of different. Our thing would be the antithesis of what they do. We'll just be guys hanging out and just talking like normal people. But I never had this attitude, we're going to show Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert how it's done. And a lot of people who came in who want to follow, and I'm not even talking about the people that came in after them. I'm even talking about people like Rex Reed, who I don't like. And one of my favorites, what was the guy's name who he was on? He was a critic for Entertainment Tonight.
Roper?
No, not Roper. No. Oh, man, I forgot the guy's name. He had a beard, and he was
Gene Shalit.
No, he was. No, I like him too because I liked his hair and his mustache.
I was like, who the hell is this guy? What planet did he come from?
He looked like Larry's brother or Larry's dad from the Three Stooges.
Yeah, he did.
No, not Gene Shalit, who I used to love, but man, that was another guy. He used to be on Entertainment Tonight years ago, and the reason why I liked him is because he loved animation. He loved Disney. He was a Leonard Maltin.
Leonard Maltin. Okay.
Leonard Maltin was a big animation historian, and you could go and look at all these people, and they had a format where they had to get to the point, but they never had this attitude of we're going to show Roger Ebert up or Gene Siskel, but a lot of kids who came out in the 90s and later, they would say, man, we're going to show Siskel and Ebert how it's done. Oh, God. We're going to show it. Like, you ain't going to do it.
They created how it was done.
Yeah. Come on, get out of here with that.
They're the ones who drew up the plans, you dope.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here with that.
They invented it. Yeah.
What you do is you come in and you kiss the hand.
Yeah.
In fact, you little asshole, you kiss the feet of Siskel and Ebert.
You kiss Ebert's belly. God damn it. Yeah.
In fact, you go in there, you give him a raspberry. You say, you motorboat his titties is what you do. You go Roger Ebert. You know Roger Ebert had some titties back in the day.
Pay your respects, bitch. Yeah.
And that was the other thing. If you didn't know their names, like my mother used to call them, all them critics, the fat one and the skinny one.
Fat one and the skinny one, yeah.
Oh, you talking about the hot dog and the hamburger.
Right. Yeah, hot dog.
They used to review movies.
You're talking about the number 10, right?
Yeah.
Man. And that's the thing. It's also like, that whole idea of people having their favorite critics. You had the team Ebert, team Siskel.
Before you had Jacob and
before any of that shit.
And Edward, you had kids don't even remember. You were going around with T-shirts that either had Siskel or Ebert on it.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
And it was mostly skinny people that had Siskel and fat people had Ebert.
Ebert just didn't look all that great on a shirt half the time.
Siskel and Ebert, and I think the part of their appeal too is because they look like those cartoon characters from those Looney Tunes cartoons. You had the fat guy and the skinny guy that would always get trapped on an island, and they would always argue and beat each other.
Always argue, yeah. They're trying to cook Bugs Bunny all the time.
Yeah. And before they were trying to cook Bugs Bunny, they were trying to cook each other. And I prayed for the day. I hate to be like this because they're both dead. God bless them, man. They got my respect. But I was praying for the day you would hear a story about Siskel and Ebert getting in a plane crash, getting stranded on an island.
Yeah.
And you would get stories about how Ebert always trying to eat Siskel.
You always see them on the beach looking at each other, and one of them turned into a hot dog, and the other one turned into a hamburger.
And we know who was who.
I know, yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
You didn't have to say who was who.
You know what's great? In that episode of The Critic, there's a scene where Roger is like he's missing Siskel, and he sees a picture. He has a picture on his mantle. He picks it up, and it's both of them together dressed up as Bert and Ernie. They're both smiling. They're dressed up as Bert and Ernie. I'm like, that's awesome.
And I couldn't help but think, man, you compare them to a married couple, but when Siskel died, I can only imagine Ebert looking out his window and singing, "Somewhere out there is my hot dog."
Oh man, okay. Going back to the Critic, there's a scene like that where they both go outside looking at the moon and start singing about each other, about how much they missed each other. I almost cried, man, because I saw it. It's on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube. But when I saw that, I was like, oh man, the fact that they're both dead now. Because all I thought was like, well, you know what? I like to think up there in the big in the big movie theater sky,
the movie theater, the movie lobby in the sky.
Gene saved Ebert an aisle seat, waiting for his buddy with a big tub of popcorn and a Coke, just waiting for him. Go, hey buddy, been waiting for you, finally here, just sitting down. But man, because when I read that news, I was really it's just weird to think. Somebody that you grew up watching is just gone now. It's but both of them not here anymore. It's just kind of weird,
And one thing I liked about Ebert, thing I really liked about Ebert, if you remember nothing else, Ebert loved titties and black women.
Oh yeah, he did.
He loved.
Yeah. He married one, right?
He married a titty.
He married a pair of titties, and
he married a black titty.
Yeah, black titty.
No, I'm kidding. No disrespect to his wife.
No. We're just telling jokes.
Yeah, none to his wife. His wife kind of looked like Oprah a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think
she's a strong black woman.
That's
woman. What someone like Ebert needs. It's interesting though.
And his wife, her name was Chaz Hammer. What was it? What Hammersmith? Chaz Hammersmith.
Okay.
But I think Ebert had a thing for Oprah, man.
You think so?
I think Ebert had a thing for Oprah, and I think he married a black woman that kind of looked like Oprah.
What brings you to that conclusion?
Because his wife kind of looked like Oprah.
Oh. I thought you saw him on the the Oprah show.
Come on, man.
He was like, yeah, he was all
obvious
licking her arm or something.
Come on.
I think Ebert had something for Oprah.
Actually, I think they were close.
Yeah.
I think Ebert and Oprah were close.
Oh yeah.
But Oprah was married, so
I could see
Ebert said, I gotta go and find me the next black woman that looks like Oprah. Yeah. It ain't gonna be Oprah. I think Ebert said, you ain't gonna. No one will ever replace you, Oprah. But since I can't have you, I gotta get me a black titty that looks like Oprah.
I know, right? I gotta get.
Well, the reason why I say
equivalent.
Now we all know, if you know anything about Ebert, he wrote Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
Oh yeah.
He didn't write Valley of the Dolls.
No.
He wrote Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
The Beyond crazy fucking
that movie.
I love that movie.
Look, that's one of those examples where you say, all right, this is one of the reasons why I get nervous about being a critic, because we can sit up here and respect Ebert all we want to, and I do. Yeah. My heart's aching, man. But Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, that's a B movie with a capital B. B stands for boob. Of course, boob means titties.
Boob means titties. Yeah.
It is not a good movie.
You know what? Now that can be argued, because I will say the first time I saw that movie had the most fucked up climactic scene. I can't even remember if it was actually it's honest to God climax, but the last reel of the film
is
blew
insane.
Me out of the water. Like, it made me go, what am I watching? Wow.
Yes.
And how come I haven't seen this earlier on?
Of course, Russ Meyer directed that movie. Roger Ebert did not direct. He wrote. Russ Meyer is known for having a lot of movies with a lot of boobage.
Oh yeah, he's the
Faster
king
Pussycat,
of
Kill, and
he's the king of exploitation booby films.
Yes, yes he is. And Roger Ebert wrote a movie for this man. I'm gonna come out and say now for somebody to be a critic, I would have to look. I love Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. This is my what is the guy? This is my happening, and it's freaking me out.
Yeah, I know.
No, that movie is very quotable. If you haven't seen Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, see it. It's insane. It is entertaining. Yeah. It's very quotable.
Yeah.
But if you
and it has an ending that'll make M. Night Shyamalan a ding dong go, what the fuck?
Oh, even and no matter what kind of twist you think you wrote for a movie, it has nothing on that film right there. That movie will blow your mind.
It will.
But for a critic to have done it, I would say Yeah, if you ever want to, if I was a director, and I said, and I ever want to get back at Roger Ebert, I would just say, man, you wrote Beyond Valley of the Dolls. Yes, but man, you wrote Beyond Valley of the Dolls. But you see, you wrote Beyond Valley of the Dolls.
Didn't you see that great last reel? That is great.
And people, and I gotta give it to you, Roger Ebert. He had
cancer of the thyroid, I believe, and of the I want to say it was the what the hell was it?
Of the face.
Well, it had something to do with his. God damn it, I can't think what it actually was, but
yeah,
the saliva glands.
Yeah,
that's why he had to have his kind of like his lower.
He had removed. What it was. He had cancerous tissue of the jaw area. Yeah, and that's why he had cancerous tissue there. So that's why he had to have it removed.
Yeah,
which was sad, man. Because
it was sad.
I mean, can you remember when they took his jaw away? And this is not a joke, and you can look up pictures of it. Everybody knows. I mean, he looked like those masks that you would see hanging up in Walmart, like during Halloween, when those masks would hang from the stands, and they would have when it's not on an actual face, it would just hang down. It's like, wow, he looks like that.
He looked like a puppet.
He looked like a puppet.
He looked like a caricature of himself as a puppet. You know, almost a weird Spitting Image. I don't know if you remember that show, Spitting Image with the.
He looked like a latex puppet.
Yeah, he did. And,
he looked like a latex puppet with nothing inside of it to keep it. No armature or anything inside of it to keep it up.
Yeah, and he always had to wear the turtlenecks and the scarves. I guess to. I don't know how bad it looked, but it was sad. You realize, ooh, this isn't the guy that we all remember. At least his, just the way he used to look on.
But
the show.
I think he had a colon. I don't know if he had colon cancer. Let me put it.
No.
But I know he had that cancer near his jaw. They had to take that out. But there was something where. Forgot the guy. There was a director who did Buffalo '66, a movie I like a lot. And then he did a movie.
Vincent Gallo?
Gallo.
Yeah.
And then he did and people just, correct me on this. I'm looking for answers here. I know that that guy he did a movie called Brown Bunny.
Yeah.
And people correct me on this. It was something where Roger Ebert told him he was having a colostomy or something where they had to stick a camera
up his ass.
And so Roger Ebert told Vincent Gallo something to the effect, because Vincent Gallo just came out and said something really mean about Roger Ebert because he didn't like the way he reviewed his movie.
Yeah.
And Roger Ebert said, look, I had a camera shoved up my ass and I saw my own colon and it was better than the movie. I'm paraphrasing here, but whatever it was a zinger.
My own asshole was far more entertaining
than the movie that you did.
Yeah, that porno,
son of a bitch.
That porno you did.
Yeah. And that was the movie that Vincent Gallo was famous for because he got a blowjob from
Chloe Savini. Yeah, I mean, it's an actual, honest to God blowjob. Yeah, that you see in the movie. I mean, with
I was like, damn, man, you had to make a shitty movie to get a blowjob from this chick. You couldn't just ask.
I know. Well, they used to date. That was the funny thing about that.
Yeah. But
yeah, that was crazy.
But yeah, hey man, how I think what was Ebert when he died? He was 69, 70, 71. He was in his 70s.
He was 70s. I want to say he was 70.
I think he was 70 years old. And Siskel was 53. Actually, Siskel
he was very young.
He was very young when he died.
And he died due to complications during surgery, I think.
Yeah, he had brain.
He had a brain tumor, I think.
Yeah, and they were going in to operate on that. And he died because of complications behind the surgery. Yeah. And I imagine they're going to do the same thing for Roger Ebert, man. I mean, those two guys. It's amazing their careers are amazing because their careers were spent mostly criticizing movies.
Yeah,
but.
Listen,
it wasn't out of spite. They did it because they were fair. And the thing that Whoopi Goldberg said about Gene Siskel, she said, say what you will about his critiques, but this is a guy who did it because he truly loved movies.
He loved the cinema. He just loved it.
Yeah, and that's the same thing for Ebert, man. Yeah. And I imagine they're going to say the same thing about him during the Academy Awards. It's not going to be some simple during the obituary section or the who died this year where they just show his picture and just go over it. I can guarantee you that when they do the next Academy Award ceremony, they're going to have a special section
Oh yeah,
to give respect to Roger Ebert.
They will.
That's it.
I wouldn't be surprised they actually show clips of both of them, like together, from the actual show. But before he died, though, it was kind of weird because I saw they put Godzilla on Netflix.
Oh man, that's one.
Yeah, it was the bad Sony Roland Emmerich Godzilla film. And I was like, wow, I haven't seen this movie since we saw it at the theater.
That movie was terrible.
And it was fucking atrocious. And I was just like, out of morbid curiosity, I'm gonna fast forward to the effect scenes. I'm curious if they still like what they look like now these days compared to everything else I've seen. And I forgot that they had the mayor. The mayor was played by, I forget the actor's name, but it was a guy they got to look exactly like Ebert. His name was Mayor Ebert in the film, and his assistant was Gene.
Yeah.
So they both had a chemistry in that movie of being the two film critics, and I think that was like Roland Emmerich's like kind of jab at them for I want to assume for giving Independence Day such a bad rating. I don't know if those two went off on it. But apparently they didn't like them so much that they jabbed at them.
Listen, those guys were parodied and caricatured and given tributes to and all kind of things, reference to and all kind of. I mean, they were pop culture icons like anything else. And so, I mean, just like you referenced right there, these guys were always people always taking jabs at them or doing cartoons and caricatures about them.
Yeah,
and that thing that they did in Godzilla was it was one of the worst. Most uninspired, lame-ass jabs at Siskel and Ebert I had ever seen.
Yeah, there's a scene there in the helicopter, and Mayor Ebert's looking at the destruction of New York, and he starts eating candy, and Gene's like, "I told you can't be eating candy right now." It's like, "Shut up, Gene, give me that." And I was like, "Really, guys?"
And I think there was a part where Mayor Ebert was saying something, and his assistant Siskel, whatever, was saying, "Here, eat my candy. Shut up, eat my candy, eat my candy." I'm like, really? That's the best y'all can think of? You got this guy. It's obviously Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel, and you got them. One guy's fussy, and the other guy's just constantly eating candy.
Yeah,
that's lame. And if that was if that was you taking a jab at them, then you gave them more fuel to make fun of you.
Oh, that whole movie was fuel. I mean, that was a fuel truck.
And it was funny because
just to go off on
it might have been funny had it just been a quick sight gag or something that just came in and went away really, really fast.
Right.
But they actually. They got to the point where Mayor Ebert was an actual character.
They were characters.
Well, when they were points where they thought they were killing Godzilla, that wasn't even a caricature anymore. It was an actual character. Like the Ebert character would come out and clap and be like, "Yeah, we're getting the city back here." Like what? That's not even a joke anymore.
It made no sense. It was just it was sad and it was ridiculous. And I'm like, wow, you guys. Wow, Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich, you guys fucked up.
Oh man,
especially with that movie. When you were done, everyone gave that.
And when I saw that
you
parody
can't blame
of them,
Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel for calling your movie shit when the whole world thinks it's shit.
And you can't even get a parody of them down right.
Nope.
That's one of the reasons why I really hated that movie. When I actually saw the part where they brought those characters out, I said, man, this is what. Fuck the rest of the movie. Yeah. This is horrible.
And I remember they were gloating about the fact that they wrote that movie like within a weekend. And I was like, you know what? It shows. It really does.
Yeah. Well, they're both gone now.
Yeah.
They're both gone now.
So
I wonder, I imagine those two guys, as you say, I imagine them in a movie theater in the sky.
Exactly. Just hanging.
And this is playing right here.
Yeah.
I see Siskel sitting up there with his popcorn and the entrance opens and the light comes through and Siskel looks back and he's Ebert.
Okay, now I'm kind of creeped out by this because I'm imagining Ebert walking in a nightgown.
Maybe it is.
With Gene laid down on the bed like, I've been waiting for you, buddy. I got the popcorn
with the hole at the bottom,
and I got the melted butter.
I just see Siskel singing Here comes Eden's part right here.
I know. I think that reunited part comes in halfway.
I know. I'm like, damn. I should have got this before we started.
we gotta cue this up. We gotta edit this.
Like, damn. I just got through talking about the Godzilla guys, and now I'm doing worse.
Did you write this whole bit?
I know.
2 seconds.
I wrote this in a weekend, man. There you go.
There you go.
Finally. Man.
You know, don't sit down there. Sit on my lap, buddy.
Yeah, there you go.
Sit on my lap.
Yeah, man.
That's a pup.
Actually, it is very sad. I really do. With both of them gone, it's not gonna be.
No, it's not. And we have nothing but thanks and praise for the road they came to let us through.
And I hope that they're up there. I hope they have shitty movies in heaven.
No, what, that's in hell, I think.
Or they're in hell.
Yeah.
I hope they got shitty movies somewhere. Well, they can watch, they can entertain the people who are there just as much as they entertain.
Exactly. I hope they're up there in heaven right now watching Godzilla. Sony version. Going, look at these motherfuckers right here.
Yeah. I hope they're up in heaven looking like the hamburger and the hot dog that they were. Looking like heavenly food.
Holding hands. Oh.
Yes. Man, you know what? We're not gonna labor this on any longer, but I just want to say that if you want to know how well the chemistry between those guys worked, look at what it became after Siskel was gone. It was horrible.
Yeah, it was horrible.
It was horrible,
especially when they were switching out guests. Ooh,
that was painful.
That was a terrible idea.
I was like, and they brought in, even when they brought in Richard Roper, and he was the best one that they found.
Yeah, you always thought that was going to be the guy that replaced Gene. I mean, that chemistry, that it says a lot. It said a whole hell of a lot about their chemistry, and it reminded you about the special chemistry that those two had.
Yeah, no, it was not the same. And I like how they even tried to say, you know what, we're going to bring some younger people in to be Siskel and Ebert. And I said, at that point, I said, you already got younger people doing it. It's called YouTube.
Yeah,
and they don't need a team. They
don't need this. Yeah, I want to say that even Austin's own Harry Knowles showed up and sat in with Ebert. I want to say, do you remember this?
He did. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He did.
And I was kind of scratching my head at that too, going, I don't know if.
No disrespect to Harry Knowles, but it wasn't working.
No.
That episode didn't work. And I thought I said, you know what? If anybody would work with Roger Ebert, it should be Harry Knowles.
Yeah,
because they both have the
both,
same geek sensibility.
They both have the same geek sensibility, but at the same time, I know very well that sometimes, even if you're in the same thing, sometimes that doesn't work. You know, because you got the positive, and sometimes you need the negative charge. You know,
that's what they missed when they brought all those guests on after.
They were all friends.
They brought people on who were scared to argue, and they missed that. I kept yelling at the screen when I saw them bring people on, even when they had Harry on. I said, you have to have people come on and tell Ebert he's full of shit. Yeah, not because he is, but because
to play off that dynamic of what they used to have.
Want to see.
Yeah.
You know, that's okay, people, because you got the mightyspill.com to carry on the legacy.
Yeah. You got us to fill in that void. Yeah.
I was there when Ebert, I was there during the last hours, man.
You guys were going to have your own show after. He's like, hey, Korey, come on by. Come by the hospital. We'll talk about our show that we're going to do.
Yeah, now he had no
our spinoff.
Oh, yeah, exactly. He looked up at me and he said, whoa. You know, because he didn't have no job. But, but he typed it out. And it said,
where's co-host?
It said, Korey, carry on the legacy. And he reached his hand out to me, and it was almost as if it was passing the torch.
Except it was his bedpan. It's like he could take.
So I couldn't understand.
Get this out of here.
I couldn't understand. He said, I think, I heard, carry on the legacy, but I think he was saying, nurse, empty this for me.
Get this bullshit out of here.
He said, hey, boy, what you doing here?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Well, if you're here, go ahead and empty this for me then.
Yeah, get out of here with this.
Son of a bitch, get out of here. Yeah.
Taking up the room.
I think he was trying to throw it on me, actually. He's like, he's trying to douse me with his urine before he died.
Get over here, you.
Yeah. Korey Coleman's in here.
Korey,
come here. Let me throw my urine on him.
Yeah, hey, I got some bullshit for you for that bullshit show of yours.
You want to talk about bullshit? Yeah. I got some Ebert shit for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.